preparing these seats here for paint along this edge. Don't have to paint the whole seat. You can see originally they didn't have any paint in there, and just to make it look nice with the body, I'll just paint down in there an inch or so and then cover this front edge down, wrap it around the edge. And somebody had already done some body filling on this, so I just had to sand it smooth, get it prepped. I've got the original paint that was used on the car here. We talked to the PPG guys, and for this yellow satin, or satin yellow for the Kaiser Darrin, they noticed and they recommended this Hialeah yellow, which has, and they had the original satin yellow formula in their database, and they said this matches it perfectly. And they did some spray outs, and I mean it looks just like it. So based on the PPG guys, this is the color I went with. I've still got some. I can just put some reducer with this to spray it. This is a PPG compatible reducer to the JR50 that the shop line PPG paint is. They're both PPGs. And then for the clear coat I put on it, I'm going to do a test panel, spray this. Got this at AutoZone. The PPG clear coat for this, I could only buy it in a gallon, and it was $400 a gallon. This is also a lacquer clear that should work with this lacquer, because you know this is a lacquer based system, and this should be compatible with. I'll do a test spray on the side and let it set up, make sure nothing weird happens. But to just paint that little strip there, I didn't want to go spend $700 or $800 on paint. So next step is to clean this and prepare, tape all this stuff off so we can get ready to paint it. Okay, got the seats taped off, ready for base coat. I also went along the dash, and there was some adhesive glue on there. I wanted to make sure I got that all off and didn't need any paint. I've got little pieces of blue tape where there were some clear coat runs. I'm going to sand and buff those. Hopefully I won't need clear coat. I want to do that before I start painting in case I do need it. And then I've taped off the inside here. I'm going to use a small little airbrush gun. But this, I've seen them black and I've seen them body color. And this is kind of like in between. I mean, it just had the spray coat from when they did the prime and the overspray from the car. So I'm going to go ahead and give that some full body color and clear coat. Same over there. So first thing is sand some of these clear coat runs off. Here's an example of one. A little clear coat run there. Here's that same spot after I did one test run with getting the runs out. Looks great. The method I used was take 220 paper, just real easy, you know, just barely is catching the edge with it to knock it down. And then I went to 320, 1000, 1500, 2000, 2500, and then a 3000 scuff pad. And then finally I used my Dremel buff wheel with Mystic Polish glaze. It's a buffing glaze, and works good. So I've got a method to get all these clear runs. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray the base coat while that's drying, then I'll work on some of these clear coat runs. Got the base coat applied, letting that dry for a bit. Took the opportunity to make a little repair while I was at it here. Big little piece of something fell out of that corner. Got that fixed, and there's that side. So get some clear on it here shortly. Got the seat pans painted, got the base and clear. I'm just gonna let them set for 24 hours. I've got a few of the clear coat runs taken off. Still got a few more. Work on some more of those tomorrow. Where you can see some of the blue tape. And I've got the seat rails. You know, the passenger rails are already in, but now I've got the driver's side rails in. So when the seats dry, they'll be ready to bolt in. Got the seat pans painted. Got those yellow stripes painted over on the sides now. So car's looking pretty good on the interior. I think we're pretty well done on the interior for now. Got these air vents. On that car, there's some air tubes. They're like 4-inch tubes that come up from the front and let air blow in across your legs underneath the dash. And I've got these 2 air vents. I kind of like these style because I can peel this off and then the carpet can go and stick against that. And I need to make a couple modifications. I want to move this hole up to the edge, and I want to take the handle and mount it on the actual butterfly in there. So then the person can open and close it from inside the car and just move the handle to rotate it around. And then the other side, then the hose can slide all the way up to the wall that way on the other side. So I'll do that for both of these. And the don't have to worry about the front end. It's already got like these round shapes that the hose can go over up there. Here's the final design of the air vent pieces. This is the passenger side, driver's side. A little bit smaller distance on the driver's side here to the opening, and then there's a bolt. That's what these cutouts are for, so that'll set flush. Cut the carpet out, and then on these guys I had to straighten this, and then I'll put a nut on the other side. So these will also act as the retainer. When I shove this through from the inside, these will clamp on from the outside through these holes here, and then that'll retain it in position. I'm gonna go ahead and spray paint it black, and I'm gonna leave these on for now, and maybe I'll get like a decorative plastic ring or metal or something that has this 4-inch ID, and then I can peel that off and stick the decorative ring on top of that. Got the air vents in. See the black one there. Got this one in over here now. And inside, kind of ignore the big ring for now. It's got, that yellow paint. That's just a sticker that's on there. I'll put a trim ring on there later and clean that up. The other side's got the same kind of deal. Put a trim ring on there later. Dress up this. There's a bracket that goes on here. I've got some rubber material I'll wrap around these wires and kind of create like a grommet to kind of seal off a little bit of that space. Got the hood rod support in here. It's on a pivot there, and there's a small latch down here. Just snaps in and out of it. Had to re-drill those. Body work had covered those over, and now I've got the hinges started. I'm just tightening the 2 front ones, and I'm starting with them all the way up. That way it doesn't put the hood in any bind, and then I can measure how far I need to bring them down, and then we can control the front and back distance here with that on the hood. Okay, this is first go around. So you can see I've got them high, so they're safe, and it's just a hair forward. It's not too bad forward. When I look down on the top edge here, there's gap from the top. Looking straight down, there's a gap, so I could adjust forward and back a little, but for right now looks like I've got to go almost down to the bottom of that. So, and that's as far as it'll go. A little better. It's as low as she'll go. I make the slots a lot bigger, but then I think we're going to be hitting pretty hard here, so I think that's about as far as we can go. We don't want to crack the hood trying to get the edges all the way down. And if I look down this side and this side, they got pretty even gaps, so I think I can tighten it there. Got the latch installed now. Didn't have to adjust anything. I think it's pretty good, pretty level on this side. This side's just a little high, but there's, you know, like I say, the hinge is all the way down. It's just the shape of that hood. We'll pull the hood release. That worked good. She's out running today, moving on her own. Getting ready to put these air deflectors on, and need to tap the holes out. So got the deflector, there's some nuts just holding these screws on there. I'm gonna tap all the holes in here. They got some chrome plating in them, make those screws easier to go in, then we'll bolt those on. There is a passenger and driver side. Okay, got both of the deflectors put in. Look pretty good. They both function pretty well. Fold them out like this to get in and out of the car. You can fold them back in then once you get going. Forgot to put these little gaskets on. Pretty easy, just loosen it up from the back and slide it around and tighten it back up. Got the rubber gasket installed on the signals now. Working on this taillight lamp. Didn't have a continuity path between the outer part where the bulb touches and where the ground screw goes up in here. So there has to be continuity between this metal housing and inside here. So I put this in a vise and rotated this. I had to break it loose and rotate this to make these two have contact. It just corroded between these two pieces, and got continuity now, so now the bulb should work. Okay, we got that ground fixed, and the bulb you got to put back here is a little bit shorter, so it's one of these shorter bulbs, otherwise the housing won't fit flat. If you put a tall bulb in there, it'll touch the housing. So I've got the glass being cut for that today. Hopefully I can pick it up tomorrow, put that back in, and then that'll be done. Got the driver's side wiper on. They're in the park position right now. And from before, there's a set screw that we did ahead of time down in there to keep that shaft from falling down. So you gotta have that set screw set right. You gotta push up on the bottom of this pin from underside and tap this fitting on. And then the inside of the wiper has this type of piece. There's a little spring clip right there, and you just gotta basically line this up, and once you get it lined up where you want it, then you just snap it down on. And there we've got both of them on now, and the wiper blades themselves were this Atlas wiper blade, so that's the style that were put on. These were extras in a box, so I think they go with this style blade over here, which were quite different. So I like the others. They've got an adjustable screw on here, There's an adjustable screw right there, so you can kind of adjust that tilt angle a little bit. It's kind of nice. Had this washer arm on the driver's side. What happened, I turned the wipers on, they'd go to one side and get stuck, and then the driver's side would like try to go on around the hood. You know, it was not working right. So it was going past 0. And then I had these spare arms, and this one's got a longer reach. So, and I noticed if I had the arm, if I disconnected this, the arm was actually wanting to reach further to keep it from going past 0. So I think I had the wrong arm on the driver's side. So I'm going to put this one in now and see if that fixes the issue. Got both of the wipers on. After I did the long arm on this one, that one had a long arm, but it still wasn't long enough. It was just at the edge of going past center, and maybe 1 out of every 5 or 10 times it'd go past center and go off the end. So I took it off, cut it out, added about 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch of distance to that arm, and now we can give it a test. Got both of the wiper assemblies on there the way. Should work. Let's go ahead and turn this on. Okay, now we finally got wipers working the way they're supposed to. Getting the rubber seal put in along the trunk and the other openings in the car. And I'm just using a real, got this at Menards. It's a rubber tape with a nice little profile. You see it's got a little bit of a step in it here. Nice and cushy. And it's just the right width to fit down in there, so I think that'll work. There's the seal for the convertible lid installed. While I'm doing seals, I went ahead and took the convertible bow, lower bow, and glued the rubber seal onto the bottom of that. Just letting that dry right now. Got the strip put in around the hood. So between the 3 lids, what I found is you need about 40 foot of stripping. And I went ahead and left spaces here. So if I want to take these out, maintain them, paint them, I can do that without tearing up stripping and trying to put it back. So I might want to paint those silver to match these hinges. Haven't decided whether to make them silver or black yet. Getting this heater hose put on. And I had the originals. They were really dry rotted and cracked, but they just use staples to put those in. So you just put them in and you can try to bend the staples over a little bit. Here we got both of the hoses attached to the vents up there. It's really crowded over here on the driver's side, so I won't even show that, but looks good, functional, and just like the original. Got the top on, got that gasket on there. Also got the chrome strips put on the bows. There's 10 of them. And gotta have the upholstery guy tweak a little bit on this corner, also on the other corner. Just off just a hair. Relocate that snap just a little bit. Tiny sag here, not horrible.